Yo, what's up guys, Love First here, and recently I asked you guys to vote for your favorite Beyblade on this popularity poll to settle which Beyblade is the most popular of them all, and the results have come in. So yeah, today I'm gonna make a video on the top 10 most popular burst phase based on that poll. So for every single Beyblade on this list, I'm basically gonna be talking about its aesthetic appeal, how competitive it is, and its role in the anime, basically the three main factors that contribute to its popularity. So yeah, let's just get this started. Alright, so in the number 10 slot, we actually have a tie. In the number 10 slot, we have Buster Excalibur and Storm Spriggan both tied for 13 points. So yeah, let's just talk about the least hype one first. Buster Excalibur. Now again, we're going to be talking about the base aesthetic appeal, its competitiveness, and its appearance in the anime. So yeah, aesthetic appeal, I mean, I don't really find Excalibur really that appealing, at least this Excalibur. I just think it looks really goofy and ugly, but I can definitely see why people would gravitate towards this design. I mean, its colors are really out there, really flashy. Of course, you got the gold, the red, and the blue. Really good color scheme. It does have a giant metal sword in the middle, which is really menacing. I can definitely see like little kids seeing this Beyblade and being like, this is awesome. But to me, when you compare it to the other Excaliburs, to me it just does not look as good as those. Like, Xeno Excalibur looks amazing. This one just looks unbalanced and clunky to me, but again, it's my own opinion. I'm sure other people like really like its design. Anyway, so yeah, I actually really like the one dash design. I think this one looks really good. The disc looks really good. Definitely an upgrade of the one disc. And the sword, I mean, I like how there's just a giant sword in the middle. I won't lie about that. So yeah, overall, its designs, it's not my favorite design, but like, it's not a bad design. Anyway, moving on to the next category, its competitiveness. Overall, Excalibur's a pretty competitive bay, one of the best attack type bays just because of its shape and its giant sword in the middle. It can get a lot of smash attacks and a lot of burst out of that, and also the one dash disc, it's not the worst disc in the world, it's a pretty good disc, and the sword driver, again, not the worst driver. So overall, the combo isn't that bad. It's a pretty competitive bay, especially the layer itself. And moving on to the last category, its appearance in the anime. Its appearance is it's owned by Zan, and he's actually like, I would say, the main rival to Aiga, maybe besides, he's like the rival figure to Aiga. I feel like Fi is like the antagonist to Aiga, but Zan is the rival figure to Aiga. So yeah, he appears with Zan, and Zan is a really cool character, although I feel like Zan isn't as cool as Xander. I feel like if Xander owned Buster Excalibur, then the Beyblade would be a lot more popular. So yeah, it's only in the number 10 slot, but number 10's not bad compared to like the 100 of Beyblades that didn't make it on the list. Anyway, so yeah, number 10 slot with 13 votes, we have Buster Excalibur. Moving on to the other number 10 slot, we have Storm Spriggan, and oh my gosh, guys, I was not expecting this Beyblade to make the list, but I'm so happy it made the list. This is my favorite dual layer. It's actually, spoilers for the rest of the list, by the way, it's actually the only dual layer to make the list, which actually makes me really sad. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about its aesthetic appeal. Storm Spriggan, I honestly think, in my opinion, this is the most appealing Beyblade out of them all. It just looks so awesome. Just the red, the like kind of yellow, the black, and the white highlight. Look at that white driver and the like burgundy, the white rubber and the burgundy like plastic on the driver. It just looks so nice. Definitely my favorite aesthetic Beyblade, probably a lot of others' favorite Beyblades aesthetic-wise. Anyway, moving on to the next category, competitiveness. Sadly, the Beyblade itself isn't really competitive. Its teeth are what breaks it. Like, its teeth are just so bad. It just, like, ruins all competitiveness it could have had, and also its design, I mean, I guess it could have been a decent attack type for its time, but when you're versing stuff like, Victory Valkyrie at the time, and stuff like Single Layer Valkyrie, it just didn't really stand a chance, and again, its teeth were just really bad, making it burst a lot. So yeah, overall, the layer wasn't really competitive. The knuckle disc, it had decent weight for its time, but again, not the most competitive. The Unite driver, it was just kind of too unpredictable. So yeah, overall, the Beyblade was not the most competitive Beyblade out there, but it was really fun to watch. It's a really fun Beyblade to use. If you don't really care to win and you just want to see like an awesome battle, Storm Spriggan is definitely the Beyblade for you. This is why I really like Storm Spriggan back in the day, just because its battles just look so awesome. Anyway, moving on to the last category, its appearance in the anime. I think this is the main reason why Storm Spriggan is actually so popular. It's owned by one of the most popular characters in the anime. I just had a voice crack. Shu Kurenai. No, Shu Kurenai was a total savage in the anime. He was one of the top 4 bladers in all of Japan, and he used Storm Spriggan. And with Storm Spriggan, he had so many special moves. He had like upper break, he had counter break, and he made it look so cool every single time. So yeah, the reason I think Storm Spriggan is high on the list is probably because he's owned by one of the best characters in the anime, Shu Kurenai. So yeah, they both tied at 13 votes. Let's move on to the number 9 slot now. Alright, so in the number 9 slot, we have Z Achilles with 18 votes. Now, I actually wasn't expecting Z Achilles to be this low on the list. I actually expected him to be at least top 5 because he is the main character of season 3. So, like, you would think main character, he's probably like one of the most popular because everyone likes the main character. Like, everyone likes Naruto, everyone likes Luffy from One Piece, everyone likes Goku from Dragon Ball, everyone likes Ash from Pokemon. But for some reason, Aiga and Z Achilles rank the number 9 slot, and that just shows how unlikable the character is. I mean, I personally don't like him, but like, I know a lot of people also don't like him, but obviously he's in the number 9 slot, so he must have like some fans backing him up. Anyway, so yeah, let's move on to the categories. It's aesthetic appeal. Overall, I don't think Z Achilles' aesthetic appeal is that good. It looks kind of bland for Chozibe, although I did put these like flame stickers I got on it, which looks so nice. It makes the Beyblade like just look so much nicer. I'm actually really liking it with these flame stickers. They look awesome. If you guys want flame stickers, you can get it with the 3-on-3 set that comes with Hazard Kirbyus and the other Z Achilles. Anyway, so yeah, overall, I don't think the Beyblade looks that awesome if you don't add the stickers or whatever. Moving on to the next one, it's competitiveness. Actually, the layer itself is actually pretty competitive. It's actually one of the best Chozi attack layers. It has really good attack points. Even though it's a balance type, I feel like it's definitely more of an attack type. Its teeth are actually really good, and overall, not a bad layer at all. Moving on to the disc competitiveness. The disc isn't really that competitive, 11 really light. And finally, moving on to the Extend Plus driver. Now, this Beyblade, it originally just comes with the Extend driver, and with the Extend driver, it's really bad. Extend driver is like really bad on its own, but once you get the Extend Plus chip, I feel like the Extend Plus chip can actually be pretty competitive because you can change it from stamina mode, which is a decent stamina mode. It's not like the Zeta driver where it has a stamina mode that's actually not that good and a defense mode that's alright and a attack mode that's really bad. The modes on Extend Plus are actually really good. You have the stamina mode, which is a really good stamina mode, a defense mode, which you're probably never going to use defense mode, and finally you have the attack mode, which is a really aggressive attack mode. So I definitely think the driver is really good. So competitive wise, Z Achilles is a pretty competitive bay. Anyway, moving on to the final factor, its appearance in the anime, and like I said, Z Achilles is the main character of Beyblade Burst Chozi, Beyblade Burst Season 3, Beyblade Burst Turbo, whatever you want to call it. There's like a billion names for it, and yeah, I would expect it to be a lot higher on this because he is the main character, but he ranked pretty low, so I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, in the number 9 slot, we have Z Achilles with 18 votes. Let's move on to the number 8 slot. Alright, so in the number 8 slot, we have a Beyblade that I'm so excited made it onto this list. I'm actually so happy this Beyblade made it onto this list. I didn't think it got enough love, but after seeing the popularity poll, I'm so happy that it's at least decently popular. Anyway, so in the number 8 slot, we have Arc Bahamut. Now, Arc Bahamut is one of my favorite Beyblades, probably in my top 5 Beyblades. I'm so happy it made this list. Anyway, so yeah, let's just talk about its aesthetic appeal. Just look at this thing. It looks so awesome. It's a purple, black, and red dragon. Oh my gosh, it just looks so crazy awesome. And its gimmick isn't really that cool, but it doesn't matter, because just look at its design. It's just a black dragon, guys. If you ever seen Pokemon, Shiny Charizard, everyone likes Shiny Charizard. Everyone should like Arc Bahamut, because it's basically the Shiny Charizard of Beyblade. It just looks so awesome and so nice. The colors just blend so well. It's maybe besides, I think Storm Spriggan is my favorite Bey aesthetic-wise, but Arc Bahamut is a close second. It is just such a good looking Bey. Anyway, moving on to the next factor, its competitiveness. Arc Bahamut is actually a pretty good Bey, even though its teeth are really bad, and its teeth are, they're like non-existent. Its shape is just so round, and because it is a left spin Bey, it actually doesn't lose that many clicks, so it's actually pretty competitive. It's one of the few Beys that can go on the bearing driver, and because there's like a rumor that with the bearing driver, because its clicks are so low that when it's versing a right spin Bey, it'll actually gain clicks. while spinning, which that's really epic. Anyway, moving on to the disc. The disc overall, the 2 disc is alright, but the bump frame is where it's at. The bump is one of the heaviest frames. I think lift is the heaviest frame, but bump is like close second. And the thing about lift is that it scrapes so much. So most people would prefer bump over lift for heaviness. So yeah, bump is one of the most competitive frames, and it's just an awesome frame. So yeah, moving on to the final part, the atomic driver, guys. This is one of the most competitive drivers too. Probably one of the best drivers for Life After Death. I think Bearing's the best for Life After Death, but Bearing has a weak spring, so if you have like a Bay with weak teeth and you can't risk using Bearing, definitely Atomic is the way to go. Definitely the best defense type driver. So overall, this Beyblade is crazy competitive. So yeah, moving on to the last category, its appearance in the anime. I think that's what kind of makes Arc Bahamut not that special. Appeared in the anime and had a decent role, but Boa in the anime, he just was not that impressive. And what he used Arc Bahamut for, basically all he did was use like this perfect shield for Arc Bahamut, and the move, it wasn't even that cool in the anime. I think the reason most people don't see Arc Bahamut as being like one of the most popular Beyblades ever is just because its appearance in the anime. Boa, he just did not do Arc Bahamut justice. I feel like if Arc Bahamut was in a better character's hands, it would have been so much more popular, a much more popular base. So yeah, in the number 8 slot, we have Arc Bahamut with 23 votes. Let's move on to the next slot. Alright, next slot, number 7, with 32 votes, we have Nightmare Longness. Now this is the Hasbro Nightmare Longness. I couldn't find my Takara Tomy one, although I do have a Takara Tomy recolor right here, so if you want to compare, they're basically the same. Actually, Hasbro did a really good job adapting Nightmare Longness. Like, it looks really nice. Anyway, so yeah, Nightmare Longness hits the number 7 slot with 32 points. Almost 10 more points more than the last slot. Arc Bahamut had like 23. This one has 32. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about Nightmare Longness aesthetic appeal. Just look at this thing. You know how I said dragons? Like, everyone loves dragons. Look at this thing. It has 4 metal dragons on it. It just looks so awesome. It's a total upgrade to the Lost Longness that came before. It just looks so great, especially its colors. The color scheme is one thing I love about Nightmare Longness. Look at the colors. It has magenta. It has red. It has like metal on it. It has like an awesome kind of like deep blue kind of color, and finally its driver is gray, which I think the gray driver on the Takara Tomy looks a lot better, but the Hasbro one doesn't look that bad either. So yeah, overall its aesthetic appeal is awesome, and it just has dragons on it. It has 4 metal dragons. What's not to like? Anyway, moving on to the next part, its competitiveness. Nightmare Longness is actually one of the most competitive bays out there. It's so wide. It's one of the few really big left spin bays, so it can get a lot of stadium mounts. It's like jaggy enough to get like a lot of smash attacks, but it's also like round enough to have like decent stamina. And also, its driver, the Destroy driver, is my favorite attack type driver. It's not too like aggressive, so it's really easy to control, and it has a free spinning ring around it, so it has a lot of Life After Death. It reminds me of like a fusion of the Jaggy driver with the Hold driver, so it's like Jaggy kind of stamina, and then Hold kind of Life After Death. It's an amazing combo, one of the best attack type drivers, so it's definitely a really competitive day. And finally, its appearance in the anime. It was owned by Louis Shiresaki, one of my favorite characters, one of the most beloved characters in Beyblade Burst. At first, when you saw Louis Shiresaki in Season 1, you kind of thought he was a jerk, but like, he kind of grew on you. He kind of became like, I don't want to say a nice jerk, but a likable jerk. Like, he's definitely like one of my favorite characters in Beyblade Burst. So yeah, that's why he's in the number 7 slot. Now, I feel like he would have been like a lot higher if it wasn't for I feel like, oh yeah, also guys, Bloody Longness didn't actually make it onto this list. And I feel like the reason why Bloody Longness doesn't make it is because Louis Shiresaki in the Chosi anime, he didn't really make much of a role. I feel like Louis' relevance throughout the season just got less and less. Like, the first season, Louis was really relevant. He like beat He beat the main character in the final battle. The main character didn't even win the tournament. Louis won the tournament. But in Season 2 in the God series, he just got destroyed destroyed by Shu. And I mean, Shu was an amazing Beyblade, but in the third season, he got destroyed by Aiga before Aiga even got to like level up Z Achilles, before Aiga even got the level chip and became possessed by Z Achilles. So he just kind of went down in relevancy. And like, let's be honest, which one looks so much cooler? This doesn't even look like an evolution of this guy. This looks like kind of a different Beyblade in general. They just don't look like the same Beyblade. This one just has like a lot cooler color. So yeah, Blade Longus didn't even make the list, but Nightmare Longness did, just because I think it just had a better role in the anime and it just looks a lot cooler. Anyway, so yeah, moving on to the next Beyblade. Alright, so in the number 6 slot, now I didn't expect this Beyblade to be this low on the list. I actually thought this Beyblade would at least be top 3, and I'm actually so surprised that's only number 6. Anyway, so yeah, in the number 6 slot, you would at least think this thing would be in top 5, but in the number 6 slot, we have Revive Phoenix with a measly 41 votes. Now, this guy, he's the main antagonist of the Beyblade Burst Season 3, and I'm just so surprised he's only in the number 6 slot and only has 41 votes. I definitely thought he was a more popular Beyblade. Anyway, so yeah, let's go on the categories. Aesthetic appeal, I mean, actually, I don't think it's really that aesthetic appealing. It just kind of looks like, I don't know, compared to bays like Arc Bahamut, I mean, it's definitely a nice looking bay, definitely a really good looking bay, but compared to bays like Arc Bahamut and Nightmare Longinus, I just feel like it doesn't really hold a candle. And I mean, it's definitely better than Buster Excalibur, it's definitely a decently designed bay. I mean, I don't know, it's aesthetic appeal, it's like an average Beyblade in my opinion, nothing too crazy but nothing too awesome. Moving on to the next category, competitiveness. Revive Phoenix is actually a pretty competitive Beyblade, at least decently competitive in my testing, at least stock combo wise, it's really good. It has really good, it doesn't burst that much, so it has a really good burst resistance, and it has decent stamina too. When the layer knocks off, it like actually makes the opponent Beyblade lose a lot of stamina, so I feel like it's a decently good stamina bay and like a decently competitive bay. Anyway, moving on to the next part, the 10 disc. The 10 disc is actually a really good part. It's actually the heaviest disc to be released, tied with 0. So yeah, the disc is actually really good. And finally, the friction driver. I don't think the friction driver is that good. Actually, it has rubber on the edge of it, but the rubber actually never makes contact. So the friction driver, kind of a disappointment. And finally, moving on to its anime appearance. This is what I think would have made it like the most popular, at least like one of like the top 5 most popular bays, but it's not the top 5 most popular. It's the main antagonist of the Beyblade Burst Season 3, and if you can tell by my voice, I'm just like so confused. I'm like, how is this thing not higher in the list? It's the main antagonist of Beyblade Burst Season 3. Like, to put that in perspective, it's competing with like bays like Lost Longness. During Lost Longness this time, it was probably the most popular Beyblade out right now. It's also competing against like Spriggan Requiem, which is the main antagonist of Season 2, and Spriggan Requiem, when it was first released, was the most popular, but this Beyblade, for some reason, it's ranked so low. I'm just so puzzled. Anyway, so yeah, I would definitely expect this thing to be ranked higher. I'm actually really surprised that it's ranked only number 6. So yeah, moving on to the next slot. Alright, so moving on to the next slot, in the number 5 slot, barely beating Revive Phoenix. Revive Phoenix got 41 votes, this Beyblade got 44 votes, making it to the top 5. We have HE double hockey stick Salamander, the Salamander Beyblade. So yeah, let's just get into the categories. Aesthetic appeal, it's actually a really aesthetically appealing Beyblade. Like, all dragons just look really awesome in my opinion. Like, the dragons, it's kind of hard to make like a bad design dragon bay. So yeah, it's a dragon bay and its colors are just so awesome. Kind of like pink, like hot pink kind of red color. It just looks so sick mixed with the black. Salamander just looks crazy, and especially its anime avatar, it just looks so awesome. So yeah, aesthetically pleasing. It's definitely really good aesthetic wise. Moving on to the next category, competitiveness. The layer itself is actually really competitive for Spin Steel. Before Geist Factor came out, I think it's like probably one of the best Chozy Spin Steel bays. Maybe it's even better than Geist Factor, surprisingly. And it does have a decent amount of stamina. Like, think about it. Arc Bahamut was a really good left spin bay because it was decently round, and even though it had bad teeth, it was still really good. Salamander, it's like Arc Bahamut with metal, and it has really good teeth. It's just a really competitive bay all around. So yeah, it's disc, the 12 disc, not competitive at all. Really bad disc. I'm not even sure why they put it on Salamander. I'm really disappointed. I really wish they put like a more competitive disc on there. Like a 0 disc on Salamander would have been amazing, or like a 10 disc, or like a 13 disc, anything besides 12. And moving on to the driver. The driver itself, the Operate driver, not the most competitive driver in the world. Kind of like a really trash driver, honestly, but it's really fun to see it jump around. Moving on to the next category, it's Whoa, I just did, so I did the aesthetic appeal, the competitiveness. Let's talk about its anime appearance. Suo, it's owned by Suo in the anime. Now, Suo, he was such a savage, he was so awesome, and like the first arc of the anime, when they were doing like the Longness Cup, or the Longness Cup battle thing or whatever, that tournament, he was a savage. He made it to the semifinals, he was versing Aiga. You would think that Suo might even beat Aiga, because he was just that good, but for some reason, in the next arc, when they got on the cruise ship or whatever, he just went totally irrelevant. He started losing all his battles. So yeah, I definitely don't think he's in this slot because of his appearance in the anime. I actually think that actually hindered him. I feel like if he was more he was a lot better in the anime during the cruise ship arc, he would definitely make the top 3. Like, he has all of it. He's like competitive, he has like an amazing design. He would definitely make the top 3 if he was he had a better trainer in the anime. So yeah, he only made the top 5 slot, which top 5 is actually really good. Top 5 out of like all the other Beyblades, there's like 100 Beyblades out there, top 5 is really good. So yeah, in the top 5 slot with around, 44 votes, we have Hell Salamander. So yeah, moving on to the next slot, let's move on to the number 3 slot, or the number 4 slot. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Number 4 slot, let's go. Alright, so in the number 4 slot, we have Cheeto. Now, I'm actually really surprised. I thought Cheeto was gonna be the number 1 slot. Like, I mean, he should be the number 1 slot. He's like the god of all bays. He's like the perfect bay out there. Like, I'm so surprised that not everyone in the world think that Cheeto's like their favorite bay or the best bay ever. Like, that's just mind-boggling. Like, it's only the number 4 slot. I had more faith than you guys. Like, come on. Anyway, so yeah, let's just get into the categories. The first category, aesthetic appeal. Like, come on, you're telling me this doesn't look like the best bay ever. Like, I know I said Stormsprken was the most like aesthetically appealing bay, but like, I totally forgot about Cheeto. I know, that's like a sin. You shouldn't forget about Cheeto. You should always have Cheeto in your mind. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, aesthetic appeal. Stormsprken, he's a really aesthetically appealing Beyblade. He looks really awesome. He's probably like right here, but compared to Cheeto, Cheeto's like right here. He's like leagues above Sprken aesthetically appeal-wise, look-wise. And moving on to the next category, competitiveness. Do I even have to like explain this thing? Like, come on. Like, do you see this edge driver? This is like the most competitive driver out of all of them. Like, I've actually witnessed Cheeto being like every single one of my Beyblades in like one hit. It's crazy. And moving on to the last category, what's it called? Its appearance in the anime. Well, in the anime, Cheeto actually didn't appeal. Cheeto actually didn't appear, and I actually have a theory on why Cheeto didn't appear and Horsuit H2 appeared instead. My theory is that Takara Tomy just saw Cheeto, and they were just like, we can't put this guy in the anime. He's just gonna be so overpowered. The show's not even gonna be fair. Like, they have Louis Shirasaki as like one of the main bad guys, probably the best blader in the anime in season 1. Cheeto, he would have just totally destroyed Louis Shirasaki with just Lost Longness would try to get close to Cheeto and it just explode. Like, any Beyblade that goes in like a foot distance to Cheeto, like any Beyblade that's a foot near Cheeto will just explode. They'll all just burst because it's just that good. So they were like, we can't put Cheeto in the anime. He's just too amazing. So yeah, overall, like, I'm so surprised Cheeto isn't in the number 1 slot because it has like max stats for like looks. It has max stat for like competitiveness. It has max stat for like the anime and stuff. Like, why is this guy not number 1? I'm so confused. Like, I was confused why Revive Phoenix was only number 6. I'm more confused on why Cheeto's only number 4. Anyway, so yeah, before I rant some more, let's move on to the next slot. Alright, so in the next slot, or the next spot, we have a Beyblade that I'm actually really surprised that made it all the way to the number 3 slot. So, oh yeah, Cheeto, he got 52 points. This Beyblade actually almost doubled that. This Beyblade got 98 points. So there's like a big gap between number 4 and number 3. And the number 3 slot, again, really surprising. I did not think this Beyblade was this popular. But in the number 3 slot, we have winning Valkyrie. Now, I'm just so, I mean, I knew Valkyrie was a really popular Beyblade. I definitely thought he was gonna make the top 10, but the number 3 and almost 100 votes, that's like 1/8 of the whole entire, like, voting system right there. That's 1/8 of the whole entire votes. I was like so surprised. I didn't think he was really that popular. Anyway, so yeah, let's just talk about the Beyblade itself. Aesthetic appeal, it looks pretty good. It has a pretty good design, really awesome design. I mean, it just looks like a Valkyrie. I'm not really sure what to say about it. Valkyries in general have really good design, so like nothing much to say about that. Moving on to the next part, competitiveness, competitiveness. The layer God Valkyrie, it's a decently competitive bay, has really good attack points, a decently heavy bay too, so it's definitely good. It's definitely one of the best attack type bays, probably like tied with Excalibur. I feel like this is more like a standard attack type, and this is more like a stationary attack, or like kind of like a burster attack bay. Anyway, moving on to the next part for the 12 disc. The 12 disc, again, like I said, with Salamander, not the best disc in the world. Actually, one of the worst discs. And finally, the Volcanic Driver. I mean, a lot of people think the Volcanic Driver is really good, but in my opinion, it's just not. It's just too crazy, too out of control, and doesn't have enough stamina. So yeah, overall, Valkyrie is not like, at least its stock combo is not that competitive of a Beyblade. I think the thing that makes Valkyrie, like, its design overall, its design is okay. Like, it has a pretty good design. It's not that competitive though, so like, it needs the anime to like help it with its ranking, and the anime definitely like pulls all the weight. In the anime, Valkyrie is owned by Volta Oi, the main character of Season 1 and Season 2, and in Season 3, Volta Oi is seen as the #1 blader, the blader that everyone strives for, and I think that's why winning Valkyries in the number 3 slot has so many votes, just because the anime depicts winning Valkyrie as like the ultimate Beyblade, like an awesome Beyblade. So yeah, in the number 3 slot, we have winning Valkyrie. Now, I definitely see why it's so popular now that I think about it, but like, thinking back on it, I just didn't think it was that popular of Beyblade. Anyway, so yeah, let's move on to the number 2 slot. Alright, so in the number 2 slot, with 105 votes, actually this Beyblade almost got beat by winning Valkyrie. If winning Valkyrie only got like, what? Like, 8 more votes, it probably would have beat this thing, and I'm actually so surprised that this thing is only the number 2 slot. You guys can probably already predict what this Beyblade is. In the number 2 slot, we have Spriggan Requiem. I'm sure a lot of you, just like me, thought this Beyblade was gonna be in the number 1 slot, but there is actually one Beyblade that got even more votes than this one. Anyway, so yeah, in the number 1 slot, again, Spriggan Requiem. So yeah, let's just go into the categories. Aesthetic appeal, do I really need to say it? Just, I mean, all I gotta say is look at that God chip. It just looks so awesome. Its colors, in my opinion, I really like the colors. It just looks so colorful. It looks so like friendly, and it's kind of deceiving because it looks so colorful. It looks so good. It looks like it's like an angel kind of Beyblade, like a really good Beyblade, but in the anime, he's actually depicted as being like a devil, like a possessing Beyblade that took over Shu, and a really evil Beyblade. So it's like really weird to think about. Anyways, yeah, I really like the colors. I really think it's really aesthetically pleasing. I think it looks really awesome. At least that's my own opinion. And moving on to the next category, its competitiveness. Do I even need to say anything about its competitiveness? Like, come on. Spriggan Requiem, probably the most competitive Beyblade out of, like, all of them in my opinion. I mean, it's not even my opinion. I think it's the most competitive Beyblade out of all the Beyblades to be released. Like, think about it. It's a right spin Beyblade, it's a left spin Beyblade, it has upper attack, it has smash attack, and it has rubber on it, and it's decently heavy. Like, the rubber, it also has a really round design, so it can go, like, it has a really good stamina right spin and really good stamina left spin. It can also spin steal from left and right spin, so it's just like an awesome Beyblade competitive wise. It also comes with the 0 disc, tied in weight to the 10 discs. They're around the same weight. They're around like 24 grams. So it's one of the heaviest discs out there. The Zeta driver is probably the thing that makes it like less competitive. Like the Zeta driver, again, like I was talking with Z Achilles versus the Extend driver. Where is my Extend driver? Here it is. Extend is just like a better version of Zeta in my opinion. Like Zeta, the driver's not that good. It has like a dinky kind of attack tip, not the best attack tip, a decent defense tip, and a really bad stamina tip that's basically a balance tip. So yeah, overall the Zeta driver isn't that good, but overall the Beyblade is really competitive. And moving on to the final category, its appearance in the anime. It is actually owned by Shu Kurenai, just like Storm Spriggan, as you would expect, and he was the main antagonist of the Beyblade Burst Season 2, so we got a lot of screen time. We actually got this one episode where we saw Shu, and when he was revealed as Red Eye, and when he went to the dream sequence to try to get Spriggan Requiem, and then he got possessed by Spriggan Requiem. That was probably the best Beyblade Burst episode out of them all. That's not even like an opinion. I'm sure everyone can agree that the best Beyblade Burst episode was that episode where Shu went to get Spriggan Requiem, and he like beat up like Fafner, and he beat up Longness. The animation was just amazing, and the symbolism was just awesome. Anyway, so yeah, that's why he's in the number 2 slot. Again, 105 votes, and you would definitely think that this guy would make the number 1 slot, but again, there's one more Beyblade that got even more votes than him. Alright guys, are you ready for the number 1 Beyblade, the most popular Beyblade, with 130 votes? Can I get a drum roll, please? It's going to be Geist Fafnir. Now, Geist Fafnir beats Spriggan with like a solid 30 votes. I was like so surprised. I was definitely expecting Spriggan Requiem to win, but Geist Fafnir actually snagged the #1 slot. Actually, Spriggan Requiem was actually winning on the poll like for 3 days, but for some reason after 3 days, Geist Fafnir just spiked in popularity. Anyway, so yeah, 130 votes. We have Geist Fafnir. Let's move on to the categories. Now, first, aesthetic appeal. It just looks so awesome. It's like a crazy looking Beyblade. Like, look at those like metal claws in the middle. Actually, those claws aren't even metal. They're kind of plastic. They're just like silver plastic, but it still looks awesome. And oh my gosh, it just looks so sick. Definitely an amazing looking Bey with that like emerald kind of gem in the middle. It just looks so awesome. And the the Cho-Z ability where it chomps down like it's just eating 24/7. You know how like Drain Fafnir ate nothing? Well, Geist Fafnir, he's eating everything. God, delicious. Yum, yum. Anyways, so yeah, let's move on to the next category. It's competitiveness. Now, Geist Fafnir, probably not the most competitive Bey out there. I mean, it's decent at spin stealing, but I feel like Drain Fafnir, its predecessor, is just better at everything it does. Like, Drain Fafnir is just way better than Geist Fafnir in my opinion, because it just has more stamina, and I feel like Drain Fafnir is just better at spin stealing than Geist Fafnir, basically their main gimmick. But overall, Geist Fafnir just looks so much cooler. You can't even. Anyway, moving on to the next part, this is the 8- disc. Again, 8- disc, just like Geist Fafnir, is not as good as the 8 disc. It actually weighs less than the 8 disc, which is actually really surprising. I'm really confused on that. Finally, moving on to the final part, the Absorb driver. The Absorb driver, for a stamina type driver, it doesn't really have that much stamina. It's a really bad driver in my opinion. Not the best driver out there. Actually, I think nothing's even better. So yeah, overall, this is kind of like a downgrade from Drain Fafnir, but it just looks so cool. And I think the reason it's in the #1 slot is mostly because it's a newly released Bey and it has that hype, but I think most of the reason is because it just looks so awesome. It has an awesome design. Like, I know I said Arc Bahamut was probably like my second favorite design Bey besides Storm Spriggan, but honestly, I feel like Geist Fafnir is like, look at that thing. It's just such an awesome design. Let's talk about its appearance in the anime. It is owned by Fridella Hoya. Now, Fridella Hoya, in Season 2, he was actually shown to be the #1 blader, so that's pretty cool. But in Season 3, he's not the #1 blader, but he's still a really cool blader, really strong blader, and I love his attitude. He has kind of like an I don't care attitude, like kind of a nonchalant attitude. Like, he's just like, oh, I'll just spin my Beyblade with my hand for the ultra disrespect. And then, but the thing about Free is when he wants to get serious, he goes full try-hard mode, like veins popping. It is just so awesome. Definitely one of the best characters in the anime. So yeah, Geist Fafnir snags the #1 slot just because of how awesome it looked and how cool his character is in the anime. So yeah, that was my list on the top 10 most popular Beyblades, or Burst Beys, according to my popularity list. And yeah, let me just do a quick recap of the whole entire list, because it is like a 20-minute long video, and my throat is getting like, it's starting to hurt a lot, and like once you start talking, I start stuttering a lot. Once I start talking a lot, like over 20 minutes, I'll start to stutter a lot. So like, if I'm stuttering throughout the video, I'm sorry. It's just I'm getting tired. I've been talking for like 30 minutes straight, and it's horrible. Anyway, so yeah, let's recap the list real quick. In the #10 slot, we have Buster, Excalibur, and Storm Spriggan with 13 votes each. The #9 slot, we have Z Achilles with 18 votes. #8, Arc Bahamut with 23. Nightmare Longness takes the #7 slot with 32 votes. Revive Phoenix, #6 with 41. #5 is going to be Hell Salamander with 44 votes. Cheeto gets the #4 slot with 52 votes. It should be higher, but like, what can you do? Winning Valkyrie takes the #3 slot with 98 votes. In second place, we have Spriggan Requiem with 105 votes. And finally, Geist Fafnir in first place, of course, with 130 votes. Anyway, so yeah, I worked really hard on this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it, because again, did work really hard on this video. Like I said, I'm stuttering a lot because I've been talking forever. So yeah, see you guys later. Have a nice day. Tune in to tomorrow's video. And yeah, Leopards out or whatever. I'm tired. Adios.